Good morning, Coolest Coast. It's time for Coffee on the Coast. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee on the Coast. I'm your host today, Tina Prigge. Delighted to welcome to the show Dylan Chmura-Moore, music director of the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra, and violinist Andrew Dunlap. So good to see you guys.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you, Tina.
Happy coffee morning to you.
Happy coffee morning to all of us. Well, and this is so exciting because seeing you again, Dylan, on the show means that there is an upcoming performance of the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra. And the fact that we have violinist Andrew Dunlap means we definitely do not want to miss it. We are talking about beloved Beethoven and Bruch, Saturday, April 11th, 7:30 p.m. at the Capitol Civic Center. Tell us about this show, Dylan.
Oh my gosh. So the whole season, this is our season finale, and it's themed family because this is our big Diamond 75th anniversary season, and we're celebrating it by recognizing the great people and saying thanks as much as we can to those who've made it. What a great institution that it is, great musicians that have come through our community, and Andrew is one of those who is gracing our presence by coming back, leaning into the theme of this idea of family and showing off how fantastic musicians and the people are on the Lakeshore.
Yeah. And Andrew, just for viewers, so they don't think that this is just, superfluous hype. It is not. We have some video clips that I'm so excited to share. When you shared this with me and I was like blown away. So I really want to share them. I know that they are excerpts of Bruch. Is there anything that you want to tell us before we watch the first clip?
Yeah, so the first clip is an excerpt from the end of the first movement. There are these mini cadenzas that sort of sandwich the first movement where the solo violin plays on his own. And that transitions seamlessly into the second movement. And then the second excerpt that you'll play is in the opening of the third movement, which is really exuberant and joyful, and lots of double stops and triple stops for the violin, which means we're playing many strings at once.
Awesome. Okay, I definitely don't want to rush the enjoyment of these clips. So I think let's watch one and then let's kind of talk about it and point out what people should be paying attention to. Dylan, I know that you're fantastic at cueing us into what's happening. And then let's even watch it a second time. It's just that awesome. So give me 1 second to pull up this clip. Trust me, it is worth the wait. All right, here we go. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. I mean, see, I was not kidding. Maybe it's because I struggled with violin lessons for 10 years and still can barely play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, right? I think that that's phenomenal what we just watched. Tell us what we just watched.
Andrew, you doing it or am I doing it?
This is the final solo that sort of sends the orchestra off into the second movement. So this piece, it was originally imagined as a fantasy, which means it's not beholden to the structural pillars of separate first, second, and third movements, and it's sort of improvisatory and very reflective of the opening solos that the violin has, and it sends the orchestra off into this seamless transition into the second movement, which is really warm and lush. I can't say enough great things about this piece. It has something for everyone.
You can feel the joy as you're playing it too, right? And the performance of it. And you talk about sending the orchestra off. I think you're also sending the audience off, right? Like that little clip that we watched, there's feeling, and I'm moved by watching that. Dylan, if we watch that clip one more time, what should we be looking out for?
A couple things. So Bruch has a really famous quote, and it goes like this: "Melody is the soul of music." And he goes on, and he's talking about this violin concerto in particular, that the violin can sing melody better. And I was thinking about these quotes because what Andrew mentioned, this idea of form. So it's this concerto that you're going to hear on April 11th at 7:30 at Capital Civic Center is in 3 movements and the typical concerto thing, but it is a little bit different. And it's one of this difference is that one of the things I really love about it. So this first movement that you're hearing Andrew play right now is titled Prelude. And so a prelude is supposed to be a bit improvisatory. It's supposed to set off the mood. It's supposed to give you an idea of what's to come, but it's just a twinkle, right? It's just a hint. It's just a suggestion. And the meat and the potatoes is coming. And what's coming is melody, is the soul of this music, as Bruch I think so well gave us. And so what we're hearing in these little snips, these little short cadenzas that Andrew talked about, that Andrew's playing for you in these clips, is a prelude, is introduction, is just getting us a little bit of an appetizer for the main course that is about to come. And the melody that is in the second movement, Andrew, tell me if you agree or not, but it is the soul of this piece. It is melody's melody. It is one of the best kind of focuses upon this sort of melodic exploit, and everyone loves a great melody. And so when we listen again, not only are we going to impress the abs that Andrew is getting in this workout as he plays, but also it's this introduction. It's revving the engine for sure. And so hopefully it makes you want to jump out of your chair and get into this concert, because what's coming is going to be bold and gigantic.
You mean this is just the prelude?
This is nothing. This is nothing. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg, yes.
Andrew, what is going through your mind as you're playing this piece?
Ooh, all sorts of things. I feel like, okay, I think a lot of people say that we're like multitaskers or something, right, in life, but I think actually what we're doing is like rapid task switching. So like oftentimes as I'm playing, I'm thinking, okay, here's a little like technical nugget, accomplish this. But how does that serve the music? How does that serve the line? Especially in something like Bruch, how do you keep the tone singing, even when you have something technically demanding, when you have something high on the G string, or you have lots of notes to play at once? How do you keep the violin naturally resonant? Is usually one of my main goals with the piece.
Wow. So it does not appear like you're thinking about those technicalities at all. You seem like wrapped in the music. I'm not sure if you're carrying the music or the music is carrying you, right? The way you dig the bow in. And then there's that pause, and the pause itself has all of this meaning. I mean, at least when I was watching, I'm like, please don't stop. We need more, right? So.
And
what you can imagine, listen to it again in that pause, is the orchestra comes in. And the orchestra comes in and plays a kind of chorale. Andrew is setting the word ablaze with these little cadenzas. But opposed from that, the orchestra is not doing the same thing. The orchestra is actually kind of giving us a big hug, a warm embrace, something very sentimental. And then Andrew, again, explodes. It's great. It's great music.
Awesome. Okay, let's take a look at this again. I really want to see this, and here we go. Oh, wait a second. It doesn't look like you're seeing it. Hold on. Where did it go?
If I could play background music for you, I would.
That would be amazing. Okay, why did it now change? Oh my gosh, did we just hype this up and now it won't let me?
Even more reason to come to the concert, right?
Maximum number of screen shares reached, and I'm sure we don't have any screen shares happening at all right now.
What coder did that? That's a terrible idea.
This is a very terrible idea. Oh my gosh, we literally just watched it, and now I can privately watch it, but I can't share it with all of you.
Well, we could watch you watching it, and then we might get our job in that way.
But what I'm disappointed about is that means then that we're not going to be able to see? Oh no.
So there was another clip that you were going to play, Tina,
Yeah.
that's from the third movement that is the result of all the things that came before. So there's this wonderful prelude, this little tip of the iceberg, as I was talking about. There's the soul of the music, this wonderful melody in the middle, and then something happens at the end of all of that. We've cried, we've embraced, we've poured the depths of our soul, and then all of a sudden we dance and we smile and we skip and we play. And that was going to be the next clip you play for sure. And I think that movement in particular makes me think about where Bruch was in his life when he was writing this and the relationships that he formed. So he wrote this, well, it was premiered by at least. Nope, that's the wrong one. But we're watching it again. You got it. Never mind. I'll shut up. Here we go.
Do you see something though? I don't see anything.
I see it. It's
you see
perfect.
it?
Yeah.
Is it playing? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it doing something?
Yeah, that's good.
Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Do you still? I don't see or hear anything. Okay.
And then the orchestra comes in, body, with his lovely melodic, soulful hug, and then he comes in again.
You'll have to give me a thumbs up when it's done because I.
And then the orchestra comes in huge. We've reached the mountaintop of this movement for sure. And the orchestra comes in and with this insistent rhythm, bing, boom, beam, that you hear throughout the movement, and a lovely melody, full brass, everyone blowing full heart. It's a fantastic prelude for sure. All right, now the clip's done. It worked. Now I can't hear you at all. Don't we love it when there's good technical difficulties? But you got the clip to play, which is great. And so while you figure out your audio, I'm going to keep on talking about the third movement that I was talking about while you fix the audio that's happening. So the third movement happens, this joyful thing, this lovely skip thing that I was talking about, and it's the relationships. Oh, Tina's gone, but Tina hopefully will come back. There she is. She's back. Do we have your audio? Does it work? You got to talk to. I don't know. Can you talk, Tina? Do you see yourself? Do you even know that you're back? Can you hear us? I don't think there's anything that's happening. She's just smiling. I don't even know if she's in the waiting room. Anyhow, all right, I'm going to keep on talking until I hear something from Tina speak. So we're in this third movement. We're skipping. We're joyous, wonderful things, as I was mentioning. But what this movement in particular, I think, reminds me of is he formed a relationship when he was still a teenager with the leading violinist of the age. Brahms wrote him a concerto. Dvorak wrote him a concerto. Schumann wrote a concerto. This man is Joseph Joachim, and he is legendary status by all means in the world of music, but certainly for violinists. And he was 7 years Bruch's senior. And Bruch had asked him, what do you think about this concerto? And Joachim gave him some some thoughts and some guidance for sure. And they developed a lifelong friendship through divorces. I mean, like all deaths of family members, they became lifelong friends for sure. Family, they'd probably call each other for sure. And with the season hearing echo myself, maybe you can not hear echo. I don't know.
I can finally hear you guys again.
Wonderful. But do you hear a crazy echo on me?
I don't.
Okay, great. I'll ignore myself.
So
I hear an echo on you, Dylan.
Oh, I hear you echo, Andrew. Andrew.
I wonder if it's because I've got another video queued up. And now,
All right.
at first I thought you were punking me, Dylan, or just having fun, moving your lips. But then I realized you guys really were having a great conversation, so I didn't want to interrupt. But can I share this other video just in case it will allow me to play it? Okay, let's see if... Oh, wow.
So that
Okay.
kind of energy and passion all throughout the last movement. It is breathtaking.
Okay, tell us what we just saw there.
Yeah, so this is the opening solo from the third movement. It's full of exuberance, um, similar to the first movement transitioning to the second movement. The second movement can easily harmonically go a taka into the third movement, and it flows from this like warm, lush thing into this dance, like Dylan was saying, and it continues throughout. I would say this movement was really impactful for me as a kid. This was the piece that I would listen to on plane rides when we had boarded and we were waiting for takeoff. I would listen to this movement, and there's this moment in the third movement where the violin climbs impossibly high on the G string and is singing. And I would wait for takeoff. And I was listening. I think it was my iPod Nano at the time. I would listen to with my headphones. And it was taking off because it's so heroic and so exuberant.
I love that. And I love that there's a connection that this piece of music has been important to you for your whole life since childhood. And I feel like you kind of feel that as you watch you perform that, right? Like there is this simpatico feel to it that's so, I'm impressed by the performance.
This is a special piece for that reason. We, as violinists, we grow up with this piece. We listen to it and from an early age, and we say, "I want to play that one day." And it keeps us going. And then we learn it and we study it. And usually, when I learned it, I was in high school at the time. It was really precious to learn it then. But we return to it, right? And so it's on my bucket list to play with orchestras. And so here I am celebrating it and rediscovering it in this way. So yeah, it's really an honor to get to play it with the orchestra.
I think it'll be such a fun performance for the audience to be a part of, right? Like, because even just that little clip gets me all like wound up, right? And so to be in the auditorium and to see it played live, fully supported by the orchestra. This is happening in Manitowoc on Saturday, April 11th, 7:30 p.m. at the Capitol Civic Center. Tickets are currently available. What else should we know about that little clip before we watch it again? I hope you'll indulge me. I would love to watch it again.
Other things to think about? I don't know, Andrew. I think it's 5 minutes of this kind of barn burner. Like there's this prelude which is like 12 minutes long. It's really getting you heavy into that lazy boy for sure. And then all of a sudden we dig in deep and we cry out, for sure with joy and happiness and all love and all the things in the second movement. And then finally we jump around and so it is relentless. It's frivolity in the best sense of the word. But I love Andrew's idea of the ascent of an airplane. I think that's a wonderful simile metaphor. Which one was that? I can't remember. But it is a takeoff for sure. And you are soaring for this whole 5 or 6 or however long this movement is for sure. And with the orchestra all upbeat, we play these last few notes, which happen very, 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 very fast. Then all of a sudden, the audience, I think will jump to its feet in applause.
I mean, I'm so excited. Can we listen to it again? Let's try this. Wow. Okay.
And underneath, besides just that lovely melody, that gracefully yum that can skip forward, for certainly we might clap on or dance to. Underneath, there is a torrential, rapids underneath. For example, the viola start, and it's. I would say it's a heartbeat, but that doesn't give it justice. I mean, it is a Ferrari engine being revved.
That's amazing. And Andrew, I love to, if you watch closely, you see that there is a smile on your face. You can tell that there is just joy emanating from you as you're playing this piece.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can't escape it, right? It's such a happy spirit. This movement, it has such a wonderful soul, and it shines throughout the entirety of its duration.
Dylan, do you know if this Bruch has been played by the symphony before?
I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know that.
Okay, so certainly not recently has it been
Correct.
performed on stage. Okay, yeah, awesome. Well, then you've got a full program. So in addition to the Bruch, there's Mozart, and tell us about Beethoven, because I know that, for example, it says one of nine, right? That you've got this 9-year plan to roll out all of these Beethoven symphonies. Can you tell us more?
Yes, please. So I would say the celebration of what's going to come is even starting on March 31st, a couple weeks before the concert. So next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, at Pescal Brewery at 5 o'clock, we are doing a tapping of a beer, a Beethoven beer that I'm calling Light the Dynamite,
Yeah.
because that's what we're doing on April 11th. So we're starting a 9-year symphony cycle, playing all of the Beethoven symphonies in order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you don't want to miss one. That'd be silly. Maybe we'll get you a pin, that you've gone, or badge or whatever, that you've gone to all 9 symphonies for sure. And so it's, all roads lead to Beethoven. Beethoven, one of the greatest, maybe arguably the greatest, composer, musician, whatever, of all time. So important for so many different reasons. But what was happening at this time in particular, why the beer is titled Light the Dynamite, for example, it's a lovely Kolsch. You'll enjoy it. It's a wonderful beer from Germany. We'll just leave it there. And what it is all about who Beethoven was and what he's going to come. And I think it's a great encapsulation of what we're doing with the cycle and what we're growing over the next 9 years. And so Beethoven grew up in Bonn, in Germany, and he leaves home in 1792. He's 22 years old. Mozart just died. He's going to go to Vienna to study with Haydn and get some real compositional chops. He was really known as a great pianist, great improvisator, but he really wasn't known at all as a composer yet. And so there's some invading military issues. Revolution and war was coming east and stopping a lot of the music happenings in Bonn. So Beethoven goes to another location that's less affected by the war. Anyhow, so he's studying with Haydn. He's studying with some other composers, getting his compositional chops, and he discovers kind of who he is and where he wants to go. And so in 1800, 8 years after being in Vienna, in 1800. He puts on his first public concert. He's 30 years old. And before, he had only given concerts privately, chamber music, to wealthy patrons or in their throne rooms or whatever, right? And so he puts on his first public concert. He puts together his own orchestra. Concert halls were not a thing. They did not really exist in this day and age. And there weren't really resident orchestras. That wasn't also a thing yet. So Beethoven puts on his first concert, puts together an orchestra, and on this concert he has his first symphony. He plays a little piano something, and a Mozart symphony. We don't know exactly what, and some movements from Haydn's creation. He's honoring his forefathers, those who he's really respecting, the scores that he's really poring over to learn how to compose himself, and he puts forth his first symphony. Again, fitting that it was 1800, right? Something's new about to take off. And this first symphony is one part looking back and honoring his musical family. Again, season's theme, of course. Certainly of Haydn, certainly of Mozart, and others that he certainly was respecting. And so it's one part respecting traditions in the past, and one part starting to look forward to say something unique himself. He's not yet the revolutionary individual that we know and love and we think about when we think about Beethoven, but he is, as it were, lighting the dynamite of what's to come. And so this is really him lighting the fuse, and we can see it with every note perhaps that trickles through the symphony on the second half. We can see that fuse getting a little bit less, and a little bit shorter, and a little bit shorter, and a little bit shorter. And soon, next year, we'll perhaps have our first explosion, but not yet. This is about honoring families, it's about honoring our loved ones, it's about respecting where we've been and starting to look ahead of where we're going. So it's a great stepping stone of what to come. And hopefully we'll do that not only on April 11th, but we'll start the party on March 31st at Pescal for a tapping.
And everyone is welcome. It's $10 per person in advance or at the door. There's going to be music, snacks, and fun. And you'll be supporting the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra at the same time. And then, like Dylan was saying, Andrew Dunlap will take the stage with the symphony. And there will also be a Beethoven the first of 9. This is happening Saturday, April 11th, 7:30 p.m. at the Capitol Civic Center. And I love how you've got this kind of through line planned, right? That there's going to be a little Beethoven now and then throughout the next 9 years. How cool to be able to, I don't know, participate in something that's this cohesive.
I'm looking forward to it.
So, final thoughts. What else do you want people to know? Anything about the program or the upcoming concert?
35 and under, special discounted tickets. As always, 11 under is free for if you're 11 and under. But it's a great concert for all those budding young musicians who want to be inspired by Andrew, those who love the canon and who need to be enriched and have some joy in their life through the Mozart for sure, and people who love triangles. The concert opens with a Mozart overture that is operatic in its storyline for sure, about family as well. We don't need to get into that. We'll leave some mystery to the concert for sure, but it is a concert for all, and I think everyone's going to love it. A great way for sure to get into the meat of spring.
It's amazing. And you talked about 11 and under. Tickets are free. Andrew, what age were you when you started playing the violin, when music became important in your life?
It's a little complicated because my parents started me when I was 3, but I actually stopped after 6 months. So I don't know what to think of that time, in between. I actually studied piano in between when I wasn't practicing violin. And I resumed violin back in 4th grade, I think it was.
Okay, but so it's, I guess that point highlights it is never too soon to introduce children to whatever this amazing experience is when you hear music being played and being shared.
It's a wonderful communal event, and hope it's going to change some lives.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. My guest today, music director of the Manitowoc Symphony Orchestra, Dylan Chmura-Moore, hometown violinist Andrew Dunlap is going to be joining the symphony. You definitely do not want to miss Beloved, Beethoven and Bruch, happening Saturday, April 11th at the Capitol Civic Center. Dylan, is there an after party too that people can join?
Oh my gosh, always an after party for sure. Stage Door Pub around the corner, always yummy snacks, and Lane's going to be pouring some great drinks. Sometimes he makes a special cocktail special just for the evening, and so, I'll try to twist his arm to make something special for us for sure. Continue the party, continue the community, have conversation after the concert.
Andrew, I know people are definitely going to want to share all kinds of accolades with you. Do you think that you'll be at the after party? Is that something they can look forward to? Or
twist that arm too? Absolutely. Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for watching this episode of Coffee on the Coast. I'm your host today, Tina Prigge, joined by Dylan Chmura-Moore and Andrew Dunlap. We'll see y'all next time.